we're still in London.
That's phenomenal and so hearty.
The cutest one yet, it's Paddington. We're at possibly the greatest restaurant in the planet.
That's London, baby.
Hey there, MamFam. Welcome back to the UK, where we are still working on checking off all of our items on our bucket list.
We have checked a lot of things off our London must-do list, but we've still got a lot to do, and it's time to get started on part 2.
Nice.
Thank you. Hello. Good morning. We made it to a clock, which was on our list. Also, Parliament's right there. Westminster Abbey's back there.
Not in frame, but there.
Not in frame, but there's some B-roll. And you know what? That's a little bonus, because I didn't think about seeing Westminster Abbey. It was not on our list, but now it is. But on our list was to tell time.
All right, you're up.
I'm great at telling time. 10:55.
Crushed it.
Crushed it. Thank goodness it's in the AM, because if it were PM, I'd have to do 24-hour clock, and that takes longer in my brain. But there you go. Also, if you were from the UK, would you use this clock to tell time, or would you just use your phone? Or if it was PM, would you say 22:55, or would you say 5:23? What would you say? What are they? I don't know. I had to do 24-hour time working at Disney, but it still confuses me.
Now, because we are who we are and we are nerds going through life, in the taxi over here, I looked up a boatload of fun facts about Big Ben.
A clock load. A big clock. Get it? It's a big clock.
No, yeah, I get it. You know, Big Ben, not the name of the tower, the name of the bell.
I did know that.
Inside.
I also looked up that.
Yeah, that's a fun
good
fact.
one. That's a fun fact.
It's actually Elizabeth Tower.
Elizabeth Tower.
Yeah, named for Queen Elizabeth. Although the tower itself was built for Queen Victoria.
Is Ben someone?
You know, that's another fun fact that I looked up, and it was like, it's inconclusive. It's either after a heavyweight boxer who is named Ben, or somebody who I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, folks on the internet, someone who served in Parliament. Yeah, the internet does love to correct people when they know things. Yeah, named for somebody who I believe worked in the government in some capacity, or no, not the government, somebody who worked on building the tower in some capacity, although, again, it's not necessarily clear who. If you know who it was built for, please let us know, and why it has the name Big Ben. Anyway.
I thought it would be for Ben Kingsley and his incredible role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but what do I know?
Hey, do you fancy either of the birds?
Now, the entirety of this tower is about 96 meters in height. What's that conversion to feet for our...
316 feet.
Yeah, and I think the clock face, how tall is that?
It said 22 and a half feet.
That's huge. Massive.
6.9 meters.
Tough to really wrap your head
That's
around.
the dials.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know what I read? I read that originally the hands, the minute and the hour hand, were going to be made out of cast iron, but it was going to be too heavy, so they had to change the material. So it's gunmetal and then copper.
That's what they just want you to think, but it's actually because after Peter Pan and the Darling children landed on it, to avoid more vandalism from children, they had to change the material to make it slipperier.
That adds up. Adds up. Yeah, for sure.
That's real.
It's also recognized as one of the most accurate timepieces on the planet.
Huh. How fascinating. And the 4, it's the first time the 4 was used.
Yeah, and that Roman numeral.
It used to be 4 dashes.
Instead of IV.
So many fun facts, but you know, it's a good thing we're looking at a clock, because I do think it's time to head to our next adventure.
Great transition.
Thank you.
We ride.
Natural. Our next stop is something that hit my algorithm and said, hey, do you want to see spooky stuff in London? It's like an interactive haunted house. And I said, say less, internet. So we're headed to the London Dungeon, which explores some of the darker, seedier stories of London's history, but I've read it in an accurate historical fashion as well as a fun, good time. Right up my alley. Tickets to the London Dungeon start at £35 for a time slot ticket, or you can get an anytime ticket starting at £43. I'm super excited to check this out because you guys know I'm a spooky girly. I'm excited to learn a little something, but we are not allowed to film the experience. We will take video and pictures of what we are allowed to do, and we'll be back after getting scared to review. We survived.
We did. We made it. Now, I think that was a very interesting experience. Very dark. Quite literally in many places, and they also did cover a lot of the dark history, not literally in that case, of London.
Yeah, I actually was impressed by the practical effects. There were a lot more than I expected. It is live actors, but there are some practical effects. There's some effects you'll see at like HHN or in 3D shows at Walt Disney World. Not 3D, but like different things that surprised me as far as it was more advanced than I expected. And I thought the cast was very good as well.
They were also very into it. So I think it was really fun to see them get excited to play their parts. But overall, a fun time.
I think this is probably not an experience for everyone. I got scared a few times. There were kids in there that weren't scared, but obviously know your audience if you're going to get scared. Yeah. There were teenage boys that were terrified at one point. That was very funny to me. But if you're going to get scared, maybe don't do this or don't bring your really young kids. I think, it is a cheesy tourist exhibit. We are cheesy tourists, so It's all good, but therefore it's crowded and you need patient pants. So if that is not what you're into, then skip this. I don't know if it's a must-do, but I had a lot of fun as someone who likes creepy experiences. The last thing I'll say is you have to know what you're getting into. If you are expecting a Broadway caliber performance, it's not going to be that. I would equate it to medieval times level quality. Yeah. Definitely better than Hatfield and McCoy by a long shot. But what I would say is also experiences like that are what you make them. So if you go in acting too cool for the audience participation or not going to laugh at their cheesy jokes, why go? But luckily, I'm a prime candidate for that kind of experience, and I loved it.
Now, before we head to our next adventure, obviously we had to stop and get a quick bite to eat. Now, I just want to give you a little bit of lore before Molly actually introduces the food. We got fish and chips, clearly, but Molly's been on a quest for the last, day and a half, 3 days to get fish and chips. We literally walked into 3 establishments, then had to leave because we had other obligations. But now we finally have them, so yeehaw. Also, mushy peas.
It's just fish. I don't know if it's cod or haddock, doesn't matter, frankly. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of my friends told me I'd be disappointed by fish and chips actually in the UK after eating so many in the UK of Epcot and in the Wizarding World at Universal. But I gotta say, I'm not disappointed at all. We are at a restaurant called Slug and Lettuce, which is a trendy chain around London. Just a short walk from the dungeon. And it's really, really crispy. It's nice, light, white fish. It doesn't taste fishy at all to me. The house-made tartar sauce is fantastic. Lots of malt vinegar on there. If anything, it's undersalted, but I think that's an American thing versus a British thing. So yeah, I'm glad I finally ate fish and chips. And I'm also glad to know that the Wizarding World is correct in what the fish and chips look like. Now I'm going to try mushy peas, which I don't really care for peas. Why are they mushy? I actually like that more than regular peas. They taste like peas that have been mushed up. That's it. That's the answer. Roy Kent likes them, so do I.
Oh, now what mushy peas?
All right, fish and chips consumed. We can go home now.
We're not going to do that. But what we are going to do is we're going to go to another experience that has so much magic to it that it's going to take a whole new video.
Yes, so check out our full video on this experience as we apparate there.
But you'll also see us later for more London stuff.
Yeah, there's more to come.
Yeah. All right, but anyway.
After the montage.
Yeah, montage.
Accio montage. Well, yesterday we successfully checked off becoming wizards off the London bucket list, and today, for our first adventure, we were going to film it in real time, but the English weather had other ideas.
Yeah, today we ended up doing the Ted Lasso tour that's in Richmond. Now, this is either a private or a group tour, but because today is Molly's birthday, as a moment in time, I booked us on the private tour. This is where locals who are in the film industry will take you around to some of the iconic locations in Richmond that appear within the show.
It was really cool. We got to see things like Rebecca's house, the place where Keely and Roy have their first date. But of course, the most iconic place is Ted's Street, and you get to walk down the street, see the bench where he and Beard have many a heart-to-heart. If you're lucky, someone will call you a wanker.
That actually happened to us.
That did happen to us. It felt special. And then the tour ends at the Crown and Anchor, which is actually called the Prince's Head.
Now, I do want to give a special shout out to our tour guide, Rebecca.
Rebecca Wilton.
No, she was awesome. Very fun, very funny, and we just had a great rapport from the get-go. I think she did an excellent job as well. We did, with that tour though, cross off
have a pint at the Crown and Anchor. We were gonna start a Jamie Tart or Roy Kent chant, but we didn't.
It's
we wanted
a
to be subtle.
weekday.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to be yelling in a neighborhood.
But the pub was great. The fish and chips were excellent.
Phenomenal.
Plus, on Ted Street, there are several shops, including an official Ted Lasso shop, which is a very cool setup with lots of little Ted Lasso Easter eggs. Obviously, tons of merch there, but also some of the local shops have merchandise as well.
Including biscuits in a pink box, which we picked up from one of the local shops. They are baked there every day, fresh.
There's also a cute clothing store that had some hand-embroidered items, like hats and shirts. So if you're a Ted Lasso fan, I really think going to Richmond is such a fun add-on to a London trip.
I agree.
Yes.
But another item for this evening, on Molly's birthday, we are headed to see Stranger Things, The First Shadow. So we are venturing into the Upside Down.
This is an original play written by the Duffer Brothers who created the show, so it is canon to the show. But it takes place in the 50s, back when Joyce and Hopper are in high school, and Henry Creel, aka One, aka Vecna, moves in, and and it is part of Vecna's origin story. So we've actually heard that a lot of what happens plays into the current season, which we just watched last week. So I'm really, really excited. I've been wanting to see the show since they announced it a few years ago.
Now, as with Hercules, there is no filming at these shows. Obviously, they don't want to spoil the show. They want you to come and see the show in theaters. So we will not be taking our camera with us. We'll document some things on our phone on the walk in, but we'll see you all later.
That's my syndicate noise. Pop quiz, who's your favorite Stranger Things character?
Dustin, already. You?
Pour one out. 11. Hopper. Steve the Hare Harrington, of course. Nancy, Joyce really showed me stuff in the first half.
Singular character.
You know I can't do that.
Oh. All right, we'll see y'all later.
If we don't get eaten by Vecna.
Eaten?
Well, I guess, yeah, because technically,
He sucks your soul out and you're a part of him forever.
I don't want that, but technically if a Demogorgon eats me, I am being eaten by Vecna because he controls the island.
I don't like that. Okay, so we just saw Stranger Things, The First Shadow. Molly, what did you think?
Okay, first of all, production-wise, what a show. Unbelievable effects. We had been advised to get a seat up in like the mezzanine, and I'm so glad we did because you could see the whole stage and all the effects, and like it was scary. I got scared a few times, like Stranger Things level scary, but more immersive. And you know, I feel like I understand Henry Creel even more now.
Yeah. You know, I feel like it connects even more to D&D. Anyway, neither here nor there. One thing's that, you know, as great as Henry's backstory was, what I was most excited about was learning the lore behind the ice cream here in British theater. According to one of the team members working at the theater, because I was so perplexed, because again, at interval here, intermission for those in the US, ice cream was heavily purchased.
Yeah, we first noticed this at Hercules. We looked around and everyone at intermission, it felt like around us, was eating small little like single servings of ice cream, and we're like,
what's going on?
Why?
So asked one of the team members at the theater here, and the team member told us a story from the 20s, and I'm gonna do my best to recite it and recount it as she told me. All of the other snacks would be too cold, so in order to prevent the snacks from being that chilled and frozen, they'd bring out the ice cream, because that's something that, you know, was intended to be frozen, but also could, you know, melt as you eat it. So they brought out tubs and tubs and tons of ice cream so that patrons could eat it during intervals so the other snacks would not freeze.
Yeah, so that became the traditional intermission snack at British Theatre, which we found delightful, and I even had some ice cream. It was very good strawberry ice cream.
Yeah.
But
so that's the story as we heard it. If you've heard differently, let
Yeah.
us know down in the comments.
it was just very interesting because like we've been to lots of shows in New York and never seen a bunch of people eating ice
No.
cream, but you know what? We enjoyed it, and it was
Yeah.
part of a tradition. But man, I don't think you. If you're a Stranger Things fan and you are in London or New York before this show ends, I highly recommend seeing it. I'm glad we timed it when we did because
Yeah.
it's making my season 5 watch even better, I think.
Yeah, because it was playing a pretty big part in season 5.
And wow, I'm so glad we finally saw that.
But we still have more to check off on our list.
Yeah, we kicked it back to the 50s, and now we gotta kick it back to the 90s, but first I have to fix my mascara because I was crying for the last part of the play. Shocking.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm super excited because we are right outside of Bunga 90, which is a bar I saw on social media, and it's a 90s themed bar, which is not only a perfect way to end my birthday because I am inevitably denying how old I am and just reaching for the glory days of yesteryear, but also this bar looked really cool, and I think it'll be a fun thing to explore in London. Reservations recommended. Let's go. Update. I now hate this place. Just kidding. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's like a 90s blockbuster. Also, they only let us in because we had a reservation, so definitely book those.
And they're also watching the Santa Claus. So do you think they also heard the same line I did?
You know what, Alan? I think they know that it's not unwrapping, but... Sorry. I have an idea.
Okay.
Before we go into the bar part, let's go each find the movie we would have run into rent in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I found mine. Act surprised.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Although in my experience, it was a 2 VHS set.
We only get one here.
Yeah.
So you just have to not know what happened.
You get just the crash, but not the sinking.
Correct.
Shocked to see you in this section.
Independence Day, which is technically not a horror film, but
I mean, it's sci-fi,
that's true.
which is behind you. All right.
Oh, yeah. Sci-fi.
Is it your normal Pepsi machine? It may or may not be a time machine. So who's ready to go back to the 90s?
Woo! Yes! Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that. Watch your step. Go on.
Okay.
Watch your step.
Oh my god. Oh my god, the Pepsi
Right,
time
when
machine.
you're in there, just push in the tape on the TV, okay?
Do it.
Press it, press
Yeah,
the
push
door.
it in.
Oh, shit.
Hello. That's us.
Yeah, amazing. All right, follow me, everyone.
Give to the DJ box, please.
Guys, I just came to the bathrooms and I'm getting Armageddon. Wow. Move over, Haunted Mansion Parlor. This is the greatest bar on earth.
It was a ton of fun. Boy, was it loud though, which is why you didn't see us filming and recording our audio inside. Sort of something we had kind of anticipated, so we brought these
Pepe
mics
mics.
this time. But even that was a little bit too loud. As far as beverages go, they had so many.
There were so many. There were every cool cups galore. There was a bus of shots that were all themed to the Spice Girls. There was a giant pump up Nike shoe that was like a four-person cocktail.
More than two.
Yeah, cups in Fresh Prince and Britney Spears. I had a beverage in a Kevin McAllister. It was a very citrusy beverage.
Yeah, I had a beverage in the Brick, which is one of the first ever cell phones, like a car phone. It was a very tropical beverage that had so much rum.
I will say the drinks were better than I would expect at a place like this, or they would be in America. They were less sweet.
I think we've come to anticipate that in the States it's going to be very sweet. This was not. It was very like spirit forward. The pizza we had was
pretty good.
So much cheese.
So cheesy. You know, I love that.
So much
cheese. A whole
cheese.
cheese pizza just for me.
But I have to know.
Yeah.
What was your favorite? This first of all, before I ask this question, just want to let you know this place was chocked full of 90s fun.
Yeah, it was
tons of memorabilia.
Unbelievable. You went through the Pepsi machine and then you went through a time machine basically, and it just was like
Pepsi time machine.
So many things from the 90s. Okay, the first thing I noticed, I'll say, is the bed with all of the like Teen Beat.
You missed the Furby Demon?
No, I love the Furby Demon.
Okay.
Actually, that was my favorite thing, is all the Furbies. But the bed.
That was your favorite.
Yeah,
thing.
I loved my Furby.
Your Furby wanted to possess you and wear your skin.
Whoa! But the bed with all the posters from like Teen Beat and Tiger Beat and like those that just like brought me back to my childhood bedroom.
See, my favorite two things were 1, Charizard plush.
Sure.
2, you remember the Dinosaurs TV show?
Yeah, the Sinclairs.
That nightmare show? Yeah, that was lurking in a corner next to Jumanji.
I also loved a giant cell phone with Snake being played on it. I loved giant Tamagotchi. I loved that I got Armageddon on the way to the bathroom, and that the bathroom was full of, each stall had a different famous bathroom scene from a 90s film.
All in all, just an incredibly
Awesome.
well-themed bar.
So
such a fun time, such a vibe, especially if you grew up in the 90s.
One of the best themed bars I've ever been to anywhere.
All that said, get you a res.
Yes. Behind.
Okay, that is one more thing checked off of our list. We still have a few more, but as you can tell, it's nighttime, so we're heading back.
It's actually really early in the morning.
That's true. It is. You know what? You're so right. It's almost 1 o'clock. So we're going to go to bed.
Yes. We have one more day to check off these things, and until then, I'll just be replaying that Sweet 90s playlist in my head.
Yeah. Bye now. Good morning. It is our last day in London.
We're here to check something off of our list, to market, but not to buy a fat pig, but pig will be involved.
Let's go. We are at the Borough Market today, and this market has existed in some capacity since the year, it's somewhat sort of hard to find on the internet when I was doing some research, but 1014, 1016? Please correct me if I'm wrong, folks who are native Londoners, but what I'm trying to say is this market has existed for a long time in some form or iteration in various places throughout London. Now, based on what I have read, it has existed in other spots in London in the past. It has had to be moved a couple of times from some various royal orders, and it has existed to sell both wholesale food and has now welcomed a variety of other vendors. So we're going to look around and grab some street food, maybe something else. But we're going to find out. We're going to let the market speak to us. Okay, we found a quiet spot. This is the famous sausage roll from the Ginger Pig. Holy cow, is it heavy. All right. That is thick. Such high quality meat though. Buttery pastry. This reminds me of like if you took the sausage balls that my grandparents would make and just elevated it so much, wrapped it in a delicious buttery pastry. Yeah, that's phenomenal and so hearty. To me, this is absolutely worth the hype.
Yes. Next stop, we went to Turnips, which has gone viral on social media for this cup of strawberries covered in chocolate. The internet says it's like the most unbelievable thing, which it's two of my favorite things. One of my favorite treats is a chocolate covered strawberry, but let's see if it's as good as the internet says. I will say, we had to walk a little bit to find a table, so it's gotten a little hard, but I do love strawberries. Strawberries are fresh, big and juicy. My favorite fruit. The chocolate is phenomenal. Chocolate generally is better quality in Europe because of whatever milk and chemicals and food rules. So the chocolate's really good as well. Yeah, it's a simple, delicious treat, which I'm a big fan of. So I get it. From Turnips, where we got the strawberries, they also have a whole selection of fresh made juices because they are a fruit stand. I got strawberry lemonade. Oh, she's pulpy. I mean, sweeter than a normal drink I would have, but as a little treat, this is fantastic. More strawberry-y than lemony, but Very fresh.
And I got lemon, carrot, ginger, and apple. Oh, that is so pulpy. And so gingery. I can tell the apple is there just to sweeten everything else up. It's mostly lemon, ginger, and carrot. And I gotta tell you, I'm a fan. My body wants fruits. You know, we've been traveling. I'm happy to have a vegetable and a fruit. All right, so the time at the market was a lot of fun.
I will say, I don't know that I would have gone out of my way for the strawberries. They were very good, but I would go back just for that sausage roll.
Fully agree. Oh my gosh, it was so tasty, so big, so buttery, so delicious. I loved it.
Also, it was not super crowded when we got there a little bit after it opened, but when we were leaving, it was definitely more crowded. It's obviously a huge destination, so pack those pastry pants, but I'd go earlier rather than later as far as timing goes.
And now we're in Leicester Square because
Yes.
Molly has a scavenger hunt proposed.
Yeah, we were walking by the other day and we saw a statue that we'll show you in a minute. And then I read online that there's more statues of iconic characters. So we're going to see as many as we can find. Now, I didn't look up all the characters here, but I'm assuming they're all British. Alan, what's your favorite story that takes place in England or is written by someone from England or the UK, British? Yeah.
Mary Poppins,
Mary
Potter,
Poppins.
Peter Pan. I'm just doing the thing you do.
Oh, you took all of them. Also, don't you think it's crazy that it's called Zootropolis here, not Zootopia?
Yes.
It's very interesting. Not crazy, it's just different. Okay, yeah, well, you took all of them, basically. I also would add Winnie the Pooh. Here he is, the one that added this game to our bucket list. The Harry Potter statue. It's Mary Poppins. Well, famed British actor from British movie Daniel Kaluuya from Jordan Peele's Get Out. I don't know why this is here, but that's a great movie. We didn't know who these people were, so we Googled it. That's Laurel and Hardy, a comedic duo from the silent film era, one British, one American. Batman, what are you doing here? Who's protecting Gotham City? The Riddler must be going crazy right now. Had to Google this one too. This is Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol. Sorry if I'm pronouncing those wrong, from a film DDLJ, which is a romance movie about two London-based Indian folks, and they're here.
They fall in love on their journey across Europe.
They fall in love in their journey across Europe. That's nice. Bugs Bunny, you know, this doesn't make any sense anymore. Bridget Jones, this makes more sense. Also, remember when the media tried to convince us she was fat? Why does everyone my age have body image issues? Mr. Bean! The cutest one yet. It's Paddington.
Hello, I'm sorry you're so close. We really enjoyed looking for all those different statues and discovered that it was, in fact, a Christmas market. So I went and enjoyed that too, which I think goes hand in hand with like my number one tip for travel, which is set a destination and then just sort of wander and enjoy what comes to you while you're out and about. However, where we are now is something quite different. Oh, side note, before we get into that, we did pick up a nice little surprise gift for Max, so can't wait to give him that.
Hey Max, we're just trying to pick your present, so let us know which one you like the best. This one, that one, this nightmare, that nightmare, this one?
That's a mystery cube. You
Oh,
might get him
mystery cube.
or another one.
Oh.
Also, you have those
Oh,
two.
a plush? You
Trust Tommy to try. Nope, he says don't touch it.
Oh, I was too excited.
Now, back to where we are now, because we're very clearly in a different location. I don't think I'm the best person to explain it. I think Molly is. So I'm going to let her do that.
We're at possibly the greatest restaurant in the planet. It's called Pick and Cheese, and it is conveyor belt cheese, like conveyor belt sushi, but on the conveyor belt in front of us are just different cheeses and meats and accoutrement for charcuterie, and you just pick up whatever you want, and there's a cheese guide, and it's charged by the plate, and I've literally never been so excited.
It's like me in Japan with sushi.
But cheese! So here's how it works. First of all, reservations, highly, highly, highly recommended. It's not a huge space. It's part of this market here called Seven Dials Market, and it books up very quickly. So book a reservation, but basically you get 75 minutes at the conveyor belt. You can see it going by with all the different cheeses. You can see that each of the little plates has a number that corresponds with this guide right here, and it'll tell you what is on that plate. Also, the plates are different colors, and that dictates what the price is. So there is a variety in price. Some things are more expensive than others. Also on the menu right here, it's set to start with things that have a 1 cheese and end with a 3 cheese. I'm going to guess that's something to do with the strength of the cheese. They also have a few off-belt dishes that you can order with a server, such as a variety of grilled cheese sandwiches and cocktails and wine. But like, I'm so happy right now.
This person doesn't know how to function right now.
want to use too much space in my stomach on crackers or bread, so now I'm using cheese.
Cheese on cheese.
Cheese on cheese. Yes, this is a cheese donut. That was the greatest meal of my life.
I have had so much dairy.
We tried to eat the whole thing. There's 29 items. We had like 16, which is pretty good. That was amazing. What a concept.
And it's coming to New York soon, so that's fun.
Yeah. So I really liked the cheese is all, locally sourced or mostly locally sourced and from smaller vendors. So they rotate it seasonally, not only based on the cheese availability, but also the accompaniment. So this was the winter menu. So there was a lot of like gingerbread and some like spices and cinnamon and like warm comfort flavors, but our kind waitress told us that in the spring and summer, they do a lot of lighter cheeses with like more fruit accompaniment. So we'll definitely be back next time we're in London.
For sure. What was your favorite this time around?
I
can give two.
Okay, number one, not only because it's called the St. Ella and it was the first cheese I pulled, which, is sentimental, but also because it was like a creamy goat cheese, but it was paired with a Turkish delight that was like fruity and floral, and it was a really cool pairing. And then I also really liked the Gouda paired with the clotted cream fudge. I found that I loved all the cheeses, and what was drawing me to the plates were the accompaniments.
And they did have some really interesting accompaniments. I think my favorites were, there was the Cornish Ken that had a brown sugar biscuit, and it was a somewhat akin to like a sharper cheddar style cheese.
That was really good.
And then, which I'd never thought would work, and boy did it. And then there was a sheep's milk that had been treated like a brie, and it was paired with candied oranges with like cinnamon.
That was also really good.
It was all of it was fantastic.
I also really liked the ricotta with the chili oil, which I will absolutely be making when I go to Trader Joe's the next time.
For sure. But now I need a dairy nap.
Yeah, I am in a cheese coma and thrilled. Well, we did it. We crossed everything off of our London bucket list, and we even added a few things and crossed those off too, which is not surprising when you're in a city like this.
That's true, and it's on the last day. We fly out literally tomorrow morning bright and early, so just in the nick of time.
It was so much fun. The city is amazing. Again, I haven't been since I was 8 years old, and obviously it's much different as an adult, and I had a wonderful time. Alan, how did you feel about your first trip to the UK?
I had a blast. It was such a fun time. I think it's always fascinating to learn more about the history of a space, more about the culture of where you're visiting. So I know I only scratched the surface. So I'm excited to come back again and do more exploring. That said, I feel like whenever we travel, it's so hard to narrow down to like what's the one favorite thing you did. So I was thinking on the walk over here after eating cheese, 3 categories.
Okay.
Eating, entertainment, experience. The 3 E's of travel.
Sure.
What were your favorite of each category?
Cheese is my favorite. Eating?
It's eating,
obviously. You?
Sausage roll.
Oh, that was so good too. That was amazing. That
delicious.
was wonderful.
Today was a highlight food day.
Today was a good food day. Okay, what was the next thing?
Entertainment.
Stranger Things. Stranger Things was awesome, and it's not just because I'm in the middle of like Stranger Things season 5 right now, and like it's just like one of my favorite shows, but it was such an incredible show.
I think I'm going to second your Stranger Things, but I'm also going to say Hercules because
of course.
Hercules, favorite movie of all time, very different than the movie. It's very much a Grecian comedy, but I also want to give a special shout out. The Harry Potter tour.
Of course. I mean, I didn't see that because it got its own whole video.
True, it does kind of give it away.
But that was amazing. Also, special shout out to Bunga 90, the 90s bar. That was a blast.
And the final experience.
Yeah.
Tower of London. Meeting the Ravens, Tower of London.
Tower of London was going to be mine too. It's always so amazing when you go to a place that's not the United States, how old things are. And Tower of London was like such a perfect example of like, this is really, really old and it's still standing, and what a pleasure it is to learn a little bit more about that history.
And meet one of the yeoman guards.
And meet a beefeater and find out why they're called that. I think I'm going to have to say going to Richmond because, again, I love Ted Lasso, and it was so cool to be there and actually see the spaces. And it was a fun, you're still in London, but you're very different from the hustle and bustle of where we are now and where we've been staying close to the show. So it's just fun to see another side of the city. But also special shout out to the London Dungeons, because that was like the cheesy kind of tourist experience I enjoy a lot. And I learned so many things.
Now, we are by no means experts in London. We are Americans traveling here for the first time since you were 8, and for me for the first time ever. We have learned some things on our first trip, but if you are looking for experts to talk about it, that's not us. By all means, please find experts who live here and know the city so that they can give you the best tips for what it's like to come and visit. These are just things we have learned from our lived experience.
Number one, if you are American used to tipping, that's not really part of the culture here. There's going to be service charges on things, and there may be occasionally times you're asked for tipping, but it's typically not a thing like the way that it is in the United States.
Unless, of course, the server or individual has gone above and beyond in your eyes.
Also, we were warned several times by several people, including folks here. We heard an overhead announcements. There are pickpockets in certain places in London, so make sure you have like an extra lock on your bag. Make sure you keep your valuables in your hands or in your pocket. Like, don't just have your phone in your back pocket because it could get taken.
In our experience, we did note that water is an extra charge when you go to your meals and when you request that. So you have to specifically be like, yes, I do want water, and it will be that extra charge. So that's just something to note that is a difference from when you're traveling to the US. Second of all, folks, it's a big city that has a high density population and a lot of tourism. And for good reason. A lot of these attractions are very popular and nice. So be patient.
Pack those patient pants, friends. The things like Tower of London and Borough Market are popular for a reason. So just go early. That was something we found was really helpful. And also just, again, pack those patient pants. Even places like Harrods and Selfridge, they're going to be very crowded, but it's fun and it's all part of the experience.
It's crowded for a reason.
Exactly. Last thing I'm going to say is I found everyone that we met, especially at the hotels and the restaurants, to be very welcoming, charming. A couple people are a little more abrupt than you might experience in like the South in the United States, but everyone was very helpful. We had a couple really great cab drivers that were very excited to share the history of the city with us.
I think in general, you're going to get back the energy you put out. So be nice, be a kind person. You are a guest in somebody else's city, in somebody else's hometown. And so you should, as a guest, treat that space with respect. And so long as you do so, folks are willing to acknowledge that and often give you a little bit of extra assistance and information to make your stay more pleasant. So be kind and patient, and it will come back and reward you.
I do think as Americans, we are often very loud and very, we don't always greet people in a certain way and things. So just, put your phone down, say hello to the shopkeepers, and be friendly but not over the top and obnoxious. And I think this is a very approachable city if you're going to Europe for the first time because it's English speaking. So it was lovely. Also so beautiful at Christmas. And hopefully you had fun following along on our London adventures. I know we did some very touristy things, but hey, we're tourists. And like you just said, they're popular for a reason. But hopefully it was fun following along on our London adventures.
But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new, follow us on all of our socials, and come join us on Discord. We'd love to see you there. The links for that are all down below.
And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
And I'm out.
And it has been, I was going to do an accent, but I'm not going to. It's been, I don't know what to
Delightful.
And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
And I'm out.
And it has truly been magical.
Bye.
Cheers.